Jeez Louise, gotta watch that re-entry. Oof. Greetings, my excellent chasers. It's a beautiful day out in the simulation, and I hope you're enjoying yourself out there in the oasis. We're getting close to the end of February, and I want to show you a couple of scores that I got because the stack is piling up, and I got to get them onto the shelf over here because it's looking kind of bare. I kind of fluffed it up a little bit for the video, but we got to get this stack stacked. So let's party. I got video games, I got print media, I got some random odds and ends too. So let's just dive right in, shall we? First up, an empty Labubu box. So I was at the restaurant and this girl had a birthday party and she was, probably 12 or 13. She got one of these and I was like, sweet. This was her first Labubu and she pulled one of them out of here. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know dip about Labubus. I have a great friend, Marisa, and she's like our resident Labubu expert. So anytime I see stuff out in the wild, I'll send her a text, I'll send her a picture, and she will say, well, that's fake, that's fake, that's fake. I sent her a picture of this, and it is legit, it's the real deal. It is only just the box, so whatever, cool box. The girl didn't want it, so I want it, because, I might do something with it someday. That is not hoarder talk. Anyway, all right, here's something else I don't know shit about. This is a Pokemon, what is it, a trainer box? An ETB? I don't know what the hell this is called. If you know anything about it, please drop a comment and tell me how lame I am. Scarlet and Violet Stellar Crown. So I acquired this from my sister. She had it and just some stuff she was getting rid of, and I was like, well, I'll take that, I'll have some of that. It is filled with cards. Now, I don't know if this box comes with this many cards to start with, so again, if somebody knows any answers to this, please let me know, because I don't. I did go through them and there's nothing, there's no full art, there's no hollow, there's nothing in here. These are just sort of basic cards. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this over to my friend Miguel at Galactornado Rex, because he will know what to do with it. And I'm coming for you, buddy. My goal with this is to just sort of see what it's worth, give him a little trade for it, and I do have my eye on something at Galactornado Rex. It's this big Final Fantasy 13 limited edition. It's like this big, it's huge. So I want to either just sort of, who knows if it'll be a straight trade. If it's not, I just want to like get some amount toward it, and then that'll be my goal, because I have my eye on that thing since probably the first time we went there and made a video. A giant box of Pokemon cards. Cool. All right, staying true to my thrift store roots, I just got a few CDs. I'm gonna blast through these real quick just to get them out of the way. Kanye West, 808s and Heartbreaks. This is the best Kanye album. It's one of my top 3 for sure. So if you haven't heard this one, go forth and listen. Another Windham Hill release, George Winston. Every time I see a Windham Hill release, I liberate it from its prison, which is usually a thrift shop. I've found CDs, vinyl records, and they are always in extra tasty, crispy condition. So, the people who own these things seem to take care of them. I don't know why they get rid of them. It wouldn't be a chaser on the wall video if I didn't drop something on the floor, so I got that out of the way. A couple of classical releases, Dvorak, boom. I love classical music and I love these CDs because they just have like a sleek kind of look to them, and it's just cool to hear this stuff on audio and not streaming. There's a different vibe to it. Beethoven, Symphony No. 5 and No. 6. Love my Beethoven. I got a bunch of Beethoven on vinyl. Didn't think you'd be hearing that in the video, did you? And here's a super weird one. Germany, Journey Down the Rhine. I'm gonna guess this is gonna be some sort of German folk songs, perhaps? German popular old songs? I don't know. I'll tell you, we're starting this year off with some undirected STUFFLUST, and this is what happens. You go out and you grab weird shit because you don't know what you want, but you do know that you want. And then now you don't have the blinders on, so now it's like, okay, well, something shiny's catching my eye. I gotta get it. I gotta get it. I have a problem. Do you have a problem? Go down to the comments. Let me know. Let's have a problem together. I wouldn't call it a problem. I can quit anytime I want. So I totally forgot this random stack of vinyl records that I found earlier in the month too. I was driving around and I saw just some stuff out front of somebody's place that said free. It was a Tupperware and it said free stuff, and it was mostly vinyl. So I poked through it and I found a couple of things. Sunbather. This, I think a lot of these are kind of like weird hardcore records. This obviously isn't, but I want to say that these were somebody's kind of collection that just got maybe stuck out For some reason, I couldn't tell you. This is wild. This looks like some local band. That is some weird, wacky art that somebody wanted to stick on the front of their stuff. That's Tool. Look how cool that is. This is like a double gatefold. I can't believe, look at that. I can't believe somebody chucked this out. This I listened to. This is some weird hardcore stuff, and I looked it up on eBay. This record, like, there's one listed for like $130 something. Wild. This is not one of the random finds. I actually stopped at a record store earlier that day, grabbed myself a little Paul McCartney. Love him. He's my guy. Another one of those local bands, Dominant Force. Tangerine Dream. This one looks pretty sweet. Best of the Kingston Trio. Some of these older records, just some fun stuff. George Carlin. Look how young he is on this cover. And a Martin Denny album. He does a style of music called Exotica. Go look it up. February is looking to be nice in terms of stuff. Kill Bill 1 and 2. I got these at the thrift shop with the CDs. You know, they just, if something pops out, it pops out. And the cool thing about CDs and DVDs, it's like they're like $1. Sometimes they're 50 cents each. So it's like, well, you can load up if you want to. Okay, next up, this is an Atari game. It's called Asteroids. You may have heard of it. This is the OG of the OG of the OG. Honestly, I don't know dip about Atari games too much. I am doing my main quest, which is Ready Player One related, so it's going to be collecting odds and ends from the book. It's going to be watching the movies, listening to the music, etc. So just kind of indulging in all the references that are mentioned in the book. So as such, these Atari games are infamous for having really, I think the covers are sweet. I've seen a lot of Atari box art that the cover art is super sweet. The problem with that back in the day was that, you know, some kid gets this game and he thinks he's gonna get like some interstellar like death cruiser when he puts the game on, and it's you know, just bleeps and bloops. So that was part of the downfall for Atari, and that was, you know, probably one of the starts of the video game crash of the early 80s. Well, now as an adult, I can say, well, I love this cool box art, and I'm going to get it because it just looks pretty sweet. And you know, we love our cardboard in this family, and this wasn't actually too pricey. I went to Cybertron Video Games and found this sitting there, so well, woo. Okay, so I cracked this thing open, and you know, I figured I'll just film myself opening it a little bit. So physical media scores, all from the same seller, and basically I got these for like, I think like, you know, a couple of bucks each, I want to say. Oh, and there's a game in here too. Bruh. Dragon Quest 11 for the 3DS. This is a Japanese copy. And just a bunch of guides. Let's take a look. Dragon Quest 9. Look how thick this thing is. Ooh, it's a thick boy. Look. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Love my little inserts, you know that. Just a bunch of just a bunch of stats, characters. Items, of course. Bro. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. Again, another thick boy. You know what? Let's crack her open real quick. Oh yeah. Again, just Japanese guides. Fun stuff. Maps, of course, character breakdowns, I reckon, walkthroughs, playthroughs, etc. Dragon Quest Monsters. Can't remember. I always get confused with it. It's either Terry's Wonderland or freaking Caravan of Courage. No, wait, that's the Star Wars. Caravan is something. You know what? Future me, take care of that. Broop. Yep, that makes sense. Look at this. Classic. Oh, there it is. Terry's Wonderland. There it is. Solved. Terry's Wonderland. In 3D. Again, walkthroughs, descriptions and stuff. sweet flippin' art. Oh my god. R.I.P. Akira Toriyama. And Dragon Quest Monsters Joker. Now, these are all Japanese guides again. I just like these. They've got all the enemies, they got all the stats. You know, these are just nice reference books. You know, just a way to do stuff offline and looking cool while doing so. Look at that. It's great. Anyway, yeah, this is just a pile of side quest stuff. I just, you know, haven't nailed down the main quest stuff. Just having a little bit of tricky of a time getting into it, so thought I'd, you know, keep the stack growing while we're doing it. Let's move on. All right, so I got a couple of pieces of print media because it's just rubbed off on me. It seems to be one of my main side quests, if that makes sense. So Game Informer is back in the mix, and they came out hard with this Dragon Quest VII Reimagined cover. It's pretty sweet, I have to say. I was a little upset because when Game Informer first dropped it, this was November or December, I think. Yeah, issue 373. I didn't know they were dropping the physical copies in GameStop. I thought they were just their own thing, and you could only get them online through a subscription. So I was like, I don't know if I want to get a whole subscription for a whole year, but I just wanted this one. So a little upset about it. Then it went away, and then I saw these things being listed on eBay for like $30, and I'm like, God damn. Ooh. So I was super excited that I checked out GameStop in Altamont Springs. I did a video on that. It was the 4 for 20 and the 4 for 40 video. Super nice staff. A couple of dudes in there every time I go in there, and they love video games because all I do is hear them yap about video games, and they're engaging with me. We can nerd out together and actually have a nice little nerdy conversation, so that's pretty sweet. Anyway, Game Informer. Also, I've been pretty excited about Weekly Famitsu magazine, which is a Japanese publication. And bruh, look at that. Look at that art. For me, I love the art. I love the layout. Can't read a dang word of it, but it's in Japanese because it's in Japanese, but that doesn't matter because it just looks cool. It's like, I've mentioned this before, it's like somebody had to take this art, somebody had to lay it out, arrange it, and just sort of, just make it look the way it looks. If we go between this cover and this cover, I mean, this thing looks great. I love this too because I'm hard in the Dragon Quest. So for me, I love it, but I mean, objectively, well, what do you think? What looks cooler? This thing or this thing? You tell me. I kind of skewed it a little bit, but let me know in the comments. Doesn't matter. And here's the back. Even the back looks sweet. One of my side quests is going to be, try to get some more of these weekly Famitsus. This one's going to be a little bit tricky because these things are a little bit pricey because they come from Japan on eBay. However, I do have a fix to that, and it's called Sendico. And if you don't know about Sendico, it's a Japanese proxy service. I've done quite a few videos on them at this point. And basically, you order stuff from Japan, somebody orders for you, they store it in a warehouse for you pretty much indefinitely until you're ready to assemble your giant package, and then you can have it shipped up and shipped out to where you live. I'll give you a little spoiler alert. I already have a couple of them locked in the chamber in the warehouse waiting to be sent, but I'm going to make a bigger package and then get a big old box here. So again, that was one of my little side quests for this year, was to get more Sendico orders. I just love the weird Japanese stuff. I don't know. Your boy's weird. Your boy likes to chase down the weird stuff. I'm sorry it's not Halo, and I'm sorry it's not Madden. I'm sorry it's not NBA 2K26. My bad. I went in and they have a Valentine's Day special going on, so they have discounts on games and players guides, magazines, etc. Just about a little bit of everything. So something that caught my eye was the players guides and the video game magazines were buy one get one. So for me, I was like, I didn't want to spend too much just because I'm out and about and I don't want to go kind of nuts. But I ended up with a couple of magazines. I did a BOGO. I went Bogues on a couple of magazines. First off, staying on the Borderlands trend, I just got a copy of PlayStation Magazine, and it was Borderlands 2, I think it was. It's funny how Sun and Chaser did his huge Nintendo Power Quest last year, because now I feel like it's rubbed off on me in terms of print media. I got a decent handful of print media stuff last year, and then I think that's going to continue this year because there's just things that are exciting to me. And like every magazine is, basically a work of art. I mean, somebody had to put that together. Somebody had to take a lot of elements, not just photos and pictures from the game on the cover, but, layouts, text, you know, other little graphics, etc. So somebody put some time and effort into these covers, and as such, you know, I'm gonna treat it like a work of art, and it's pretty cool. All right, and so the BOGO magazine that I got was funny enough. It was another copy of that Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I remember seeing 2 copies there when I was at Royal Empire the last time I went, and I was like, is it psycho of me to get 2 copies of something because it looks pretty cool? And I suppose at the time I thought, yeah, it is. However, now that it's basically free, that feeling of craziness that I gaslit myself with has now gone away. So now I have 2 copies of Game Informed, which is the Pokemon Sword and Shield. I've kind of had my eye on this one casually. I finally saw it at Cybertron the same day I got the Asteroids game. This one's called Dustborn. Now, from what I gather, it's basically an alternate reality where John F. Kennedy was not unalived, and then something happens and martial law gets instated, and then we're into the, you know, into the present time, and things are wild, and you are a group of just, you know, rebels, I suppose, and you go around, and there's action base here, but there's also, I think there's talking and choices, kind of like Road 96, if you've ever played that one. It's kind of giving me that vibe off the bat. I haven't stuck this in to start playing it, but I might start playing it after I make this video. So let's rip through this thing.
Hey, what's the golem doing on the bus?
You mean your driver?
We're supposed to have a human driver, Theo.
Luna?
She won't be here until the morning.
So, one of us drives the bus. It's not rocket science.
You won't be allowed into the Republic.
Ma'am, I'll be happy to serve as your driver. I want to assure you that I'm fully capable of operating this vehicle.
Anyway, this was like a little special box edition, and it's got, you know, came with the game. It's got this cool, the art on this. I watched the trailer, and the art style is pretty super stylized, but it looks pretty cool. So, not great reviews on this, but I will play it and make a judgment for myself, and maybe I'll get back to you on that. Dustborn. I just got back from the thrift store earlier tonight. I popped in randomly. I went and donated some stuff. The old storage space is getting full, so some stuff has to go out. Don't worry, video games are staying. All the media is staying. You guys, don't worry. I dropped off the donation, and then I was like, well, let me go in there and see what they got. So, a couple of things. This is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure for the PSP. This is, you know, if you didn't know, the PSP, they released a lot of movies on it as well. So you could watch a movie on your handheld device, on the go, presumably. You're gonna laugh. This was the box only. It didn't have the movie in it. Presumably somebody lifted it. I don't know. It do be like that sometimes. She had it marked for $5. I was like, hey, can you give me a discount because it's just a box? And she was like, yeah, how's $1 sound? And I was like, it sounds great. So I will do it. And I did. I also found this game. This is called Batman Arkham Knight. This is for the PS4 version. I immediately put it in a retro protection case because it is sealed. Now there is, to be fair, there's a little bit of the seal is kind of ripped there on the front. I was so excited to get this anyway. It didn't matter if it was sealed or not, but there's a little rip there. $6. Can't go wrong with that. $6 for a sealed game, come on. Even though it's like not totally sealed, whatever, it's fine. Also, it's got this little problem. The old CD rattling around in the sealed game. Now, I know there is a way to fix that. I know there's like, you can kind of like manipulate the CD around, like pop it back in the thing while it's still sealed. So there's hope for it, although it doesn't really matter. And then another thing that doesn't matter is, I don't care if it's sealed or not. If I come across sealed stuff, will I pick it up if the price is right? Yes. Do I go out and seek sealed stuff out? Do I, you know, does my little sprunger go off if I see something sealed? Not particularly. However, this was here and the price was right. You know, maybe somebody will get something out of this someday. Maybe I'll get something out of it someday. Maybe I'll open it up. Now, the Son of Rad Chaser says the Batman Arkham games are some of the best stuff out there, so there's that. Also at the thrift shop, I picked up some shirts because I just like poked through randomly. I was like, well, there's some things that I need to grab, and this was one of them. Look at this. SpongeBob. Totally sweet, huh? Over the years, I've accumulated quite a handful of SpongeBob shirts, unknowingly to myself. And I'm like, dude, you got a bunch of SpongeBob shirts. And that's not like I actively go seek it out, but something's drawn it to me. So, a couple more shirts. Gloomy, the naughty grizzly. He's a naughty grizzly. This is Rad Chaser, and I've been a naughty bear. Now this is art, not that guy with the spirograph swinging around with buckets of paint, just all willy-nilly making weird stuff. This one I was kind of on the fence about, but it looked pretty cool, and it's a tour shirt, so here's Loose Arrow. If you've never heard of them, here you go now. Go check them out. And it says, you know, Fall Tour 2015 on it, so that's wild that somebody gave up a tour shirt for a band. For me, that's like, this must have slipped through the cracks because, you know, somebody was sleeping on this one. And I saw this one, I was like, I'm just gonna grab it for the lulz. This thing's pretty sweet. I like the color, it's soft. Anyway, I just want to rip through some of this stuff. It's been accumulating, so I just want to let you guys know what I've been up to. What have you been collecting? That's a big question. The Son of Rad Chase and I always go on about what we got, what we're going on. Let me know what you guys are into lately. Go into the comments. Throw a like, throw a subscribe. Do all the things that we never ask you to do. That's gonna do it for now, my beautiful chasers. I got a beam of light to catch, so I will see you guys in the future. And until then, keep chasing them.
I love Rad Chaser. He's so handsome and smart.
With a rad chaser, retro renegades, history savers, with the son of a rad chaser.
Is it my finest work? I don't know.